Here's a possibility of what your frequency chart should look like for that first question. Basically, all a frequency chart needs to have is it needs to have the numbers that are actually in the chart. So if you look at the chart in our 12 numbers, we've got a 0, we've got a 1, we've got a 2, we've got a 3, we've got a 7, we've got a 10, and we've got a 12. And those are all the number of presidential vetoes. Okay, so meaning that one person actually vetoed 12 times. Now for a frequency chart, off to the side we're just listing how many times each of those things happened. So over here, and if you want to make tally marks first, that would be fine, and then add them up. But I can just look at the chart and tell that there are 5 zeros on there. There are 2 1s on there, and there's 1 of everything else. So I have it listed like that. Now, a good thing to do when you're done is you can just check and see if you've got at least the right number of numbers on there. Because I can look at that chart over there, and it's got 6 numbers on one side, 6 on the other. So there should be 12 altogether. So if I look here, this column should add up to 12. So I've got 5 and 7, or 5 and 2 would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is what your frequency chart should look like. All right. For the stem and leaf plot on the next part, I've just started by organizing all our data. And if you can see here, we've got a lot of data here. We've got a lot of different presidential ages, ranging anywhere from age 49 to John Adams was 90. This is a great example to use a stem and leaf plot because we've got a lot of data and we need to organize it. So in the stem, we just need all the 10s that we have here. We're going to have some numbers in the 40s. We're going to have some numbers looks like in the 50s. We've got 60s. We've got some 70s. We've got some 80s. And we've got some 90s. We've got all of those on there. So those are going to be our stems. Those are our 10s. Now we just need to put the 1s on there. Okay. Me putting a 9 here stands for 49. Me putting a 3 here stands for 53. That's the next number. There's also a 56. There's no more 50s, so I'm going to go down to the 6, and I'll draw this line here, hopefully to kind of keep these things spaced out because I am not a very good drawer of these charts. So with the 60s, I've got a 63, a 64, a 65, 66, 67, 68. So those are all the 60s that I have. For the 70s, looks like I have straight up 70, 71, 73, 74, 77, 78, and 79. So that would be all our 70s right there. For the 80s, I've got 80, 83, and 85. So 80, 83, and 85. And then I just have one president that was 90. Okay. So your stem and leaf should look like this. Oops, that doesn't go there. Over here. There we go. Our 90. Now, let's just say that I threw in some president that was 112 years old. If you did that, 112 would be broken up into the 11 10s, which would be 11, and then the 2 would go right there. I'm going to take that one back off, though, because I want to make sure that we have all our data. Up here, in our chart, we've got 20 numbers. Or on our book chart, we should have 20 numbers. So I wrote all 20 numbers here. We should have 20 leaves over here. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We've got all the leaves, so we know we did it right at least. I will use these sets of numbers to explain how outliers affect our mean, median, and mode and range. For both of these things, if you look at it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50. So our outlier is this. So this is going to have a big effect on something. What it is, we'll find out here. But it's always going to be the same no matter what you have. So I'm going to start with the median because I know that that's not it. The median in both cases is the same. The middle number is 3, either way you look at it. Okay. Now if I look at the mode, for the mode, we don't have any number that happens more than 1, so that doesn't change either. So the mode is still no mode either way. Now, the mean and the range are the ones that are really going to be affected. If I add all these up right here, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, for the mean, or the average, 15 divided by our 5 numbers is going to be 3. We've got a mean of 3. Down here, if we're going to do the mean, we have 50, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. We've got 60 divided by 5, which is going to be 12. That's a pretty big difference between means. Having an average of 12 and having an average of 3 is quite a bit different. So the mean is definitely going to be affected big time by the outlier. The range is the other one, highest number minus lowest number. 5 minus 1 here is going to give me a range of 4. High number minus lowest number here, 50 minus 1, is going to give me 49. So range is also going to be affected. But the biggest thing that's always going to be affected in all these if you have an outlier. Okay? Number one thing not to forget, if you have an outlier, the mean or the average is the thing that's affected the most. The range, depending on where the number is, but for the most part, mean affects the outlier the most. Last thing you need to do for your assessment is the mean, median, mode of range of this set of numbers. First thing I want to do is start by putting them in order. So we've got 0, we've got triple ones here, we got a 2, we got 2 4s, we have our 5, and we have our 7. 9 numbers up here should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Okay, good. Now let's start with our mean, which is the most difficult one to do just because there's the most steps. It's not hard to do. Mean is the same thing as the average. Average would just be adding everything together, dividing by how many numbers we have. So we know we're going to be dividing by 9, and that'd be 12, 16, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we got 25 and 9 numbers, which is going to be 2 with a remainder of 7. So you could have 2 remainder of 7. You could also have, or just round it up to 3, because that's pretty close to going to be 3 wholes. Either one's going to be fine. Median, middle number. Just cross off outside numbers. Middle number is going to be 2. If you had more than one middle number, you would just have to find the middle of those two numbers. Let's say our middle numbers happen to be 2 and 4. Middle number, that would be 3. But in this case, we don't have to worry about it. Let's see. We got the mode. We had 2 4s, but the one that happens the most, which is what the mode is 1. So mode is going to be 1. And the last thing we need to do is just find the range. Range is just going to be highest number minus lowest number. 7 minus 0. 7 minus 0 is going to be 7. That's our range. This is what you should have to complete the final problem. If you had any questions on any of these assessment problems, in that email that you're going to send me in a little bit here, make sure that you let me know and I can get you some additional help. Thank you.